What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Art of Violence. I wanted to talk about the fight, the Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. I never really know how to say Ilia's first name. Technically, it's like two L's, so it's like Lier, but everyone says Ilia. Some people say Ilier. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to call him Topuria because I think I got his last name right, so we'll just call him that. The handsome little Spanish man who sends people to the Shadow Realm. That's who he is. So, so we have a new champion, a handsome little Spanish man from the country of Georgia, which we have an increasing number of fighters coming from Georgia, which is very interesting. I wonder if that'll turn into kind of like a Dagestan, because there's some pretty good fighters coming from Georgia. We got Marab, we got Topuria, we got Roman Dolidze. There's another one. Was a guy in 145 pounds. He got beat by Calvin Cater, but he's been doing well. Giga Chikadze. So we got four people from the country of Georgia that are all in the top 10. Be interesting to see if Georgia will one day kind of become like Dagestan, where there's just all these fighters coming from there. But yeah, so we got a new 145-pound champ, Topuria, and I don't think anyone saw that coming. I don't think anyone thought the fight was going to end the way that it did. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I said in a video before that I thought if Volkanovski did not respect him in any way, shape, or form, slightly underestimated him, and did not keep his feet solid and did not keep himself perpetually in motion, and tried to stay in the pocket with Topuria and play the, let's slip and counter and see whose lands first. That dumb game that's oftentimes played. That's the downfall of many people, many fighters, many champions. I said if he wants to do that, I think it's probably going to end really badly for him. And I was right. It did. There's a lot of people saying he just got caught. It was a one-off. It was a fluke. It's not that big of a deal. Volkanovski can maybe win it a rematch. He's not the same because of the Islam knockout. And that none of that's really true. None of that's really true. I still think that Volkanovski is very much the same fighter he's always been, which is a very good fighter, but someone whose feet tend to be all over the place, and someone who very rarely has a very stable stance, and sometimes someone who can get caught in the rock'em sock'em, let's stay in the pocket and see who lands first game. Because if we see how he got knocked out and where he was giving Topuria trouble, it was when he was moving a lot and also landing a lot of kicks, stopping Topuria's forward momentum, also not giving him an easy target to land on. Now, when he abandoned the kicks, he gave Topuria permission inadvertently to move forward without a lot to worry about. And that's when Ilia started dictating his fight, feigning a lot, countering a lot of Volkanovski's jabs, especially Volkanovski towards the end where he got knocked out. He was kind of just throwing out these like little feeler jabs, which you can't do too many of if you're going to stay within range. Otherwise, you're going to get countered with nothing if you're going to throw nothing behind it. And also, if you look too, his feet were against the cage, and instead of being like this in a fight stance, they were like this. And he tried to counter, and he tried to strike with Topuria in that position, which isn't going to end well. You look at the last punch he threw before he got knocked out. He tried to throw like an uppercut while his feet were like this, which is just a terrible idea. Even if it landed, it probably wouldn't have done much damage. And then he got knocked out. So I would say those were, some of the main things that really led to him getting knocked out. Main one being his footwork. His footwork is all over the place. He's constantly doing what is called an L step, where your feet come. I don't know if I should demonstrate it, but it's basically when you're in a fight stance and your feet come backwards and you go to the side. Here, I'll demonstrate it. So an L step, Barry Robinson talks about this all the time. An L step is when you're here and you go like this and you attempt to move to the left, but you don't go anywhere. So you see fighters do this all the time. They go here, 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 here. Oh shit, I'll do it again. So you see fighters do this all the time. So they're fighting, they're doing whatever, they're moving around, and then they do this thing where their back foot comes back here, and their foot that was originally the back foot now moves out. And they mean it as a way to move to the right, but it ends up culminating in them not really going anywhere. So they'll be here, and they'll go like this. And they think this is like a move that's going to get them somewhere, but oftentimes it doesn't get them anywhere. So they'll be here, they'll be fighting, they'll be doing the rhythm set that Barry Robbins always talks about, which is a horrible idea to do. Ruins your base. You can't do anything when you're like this, and you're open for a takedown. So many fighters do it. Volkanovski was doing it, right? But he was doing a lot of the L steps, where you go here, fighting, here, and you don't go anywhere when you do this. Someone can easily counter you and track you down and time you, or time a takedown, or blitz you when you do that, or just have an indication that they're safe in the fight and that you're not going to strike, because your feet are compromised. When your feet are not in position, you're not in position to really do anything great. So Volkanovski was doing a lot of that, and eventually it caught up with him. Eventually Topuria was able to push him back against the cage. Then his base really started breaking, and he was able to come in, get Volkanovski in a bad position. Volkanovski, if you look at that fight, Volkanovski was getting kind of desperate towards the end. He was getting very panicky. His feet were all over. He was just jabbing like crazy to try to get him out. He was throwing punches that weren't exactly smart. He wasn't moving as much. He was brawling more. And eventually, he got in a position against the fence where his feet were, instead of being in a fight stance where you can move left, right, back, and forward, he ended up being in this position right here. Topuria was coming in. He tried to throw an uppercut, which, again, you don't even have a lot of power from this position. If it landed, it probably wouldn't have done anything. And then he got countered over the top, and it dropped him, right? So when you're against the fence, too, you don't have the same mobility typically, because instead of being able to move back, the fence, like say this is the fence, I can't really move back from here. So if I try to move back, I'm going to stumble into the fence, and my feet are going to be all over the place. So versus if you're moving along the cage, you can move around freely, attack and defend. If you're against the cage, it's difficult. This is why wrestlers try to get you against the cage, because your base gets broken. You try to go back, you're going to hit the fence, and they have a place to stabilize you. So, yeah, those are some of the main things. I would say when Volkanovski abandoned the leg kicks, that was one of the things that really gave Topuria time to think, because one of the things that was stopping him from moving forward was the calf kicks that Volkanovski kept throwing, and that was giving him pause. It was ruining everything. It was destroying his base. So when that stopped, he didn't really have a lot to worry about, and he started initiating his own offense and building up his own offensive momentum from there. And then that led to the downfall of Volkanovski due to some of the things I just mentioned here. So people can say all they want, like Volkanovski's not there, Volkanovski is not the same fighter he used to be, his rhythm isn't there, his power isn't there. You can say whatever you want. None of that matters. He got outsmarted. He got outpositioned, and he got outstruck, and now and then he was unconscious. And that's what happened. Same thing in the Islam fight. What did he do? He got caught standing. He got caught, when I say standing, I mean he got caught in the pocket, not doing anything, looking for the perfect counter shot against Islam Makhachev. Instead of setting things up, controlling Islam when he got inside in the pocket, moving, leg kicking, jabbing to the body, mixing up his attacks, feigning things, instead of doing the right things to get your offense going, he got caught standing, looking for the perfect counter shot, and he got clipped. He was literally just standing there in the pocket like this, just waiting for something to happen. Got clipped. Doesn't matter if you're Volkanovski. Doesn't matter if you're Conor McGregor. Doesn't matter if you're Anderson Silva. Doesn't matter who you are. That can happen to the best of them. That's what happened. So it is what it is. And he got beat by the better fighter. Man, I got to be honest. Can run that fight back 10 out of 10 times. I think Topuria does that to him probably at least 7. Probably wins the other 2 by some sort of late round TKO, if not a decision. And I think he probably wins that fight 8 out of 9 times. I would say 8 to 9 out of 10 times. He wins that fight, Topuria. I don't think Volk will ever be a champion again. I'm just going to be honest. I think his skill level I don't think he has the right people behind him. And his coach, I'll make another video on this. I don't want to take up too much time on this one, but his coach just released a statement saying that Topuria got lucky and it was a puncher's chance. That's the guy who's mentoring you. That's the guy who's coaching you. Your coach is saying the guy beat you because he had a puncher's chance. No, he beat you because he's better than you and he has skills that you don't. He got you to a point where you were making mistakes. So it is what it is. I don't think he'll ever be champion again. We'll see. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Interesting fight. Topuria is definitely more skilled, and I think Topuria will probably be champion for a long time. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked what I'm talking about, you like the video, you think I'm right, you think I'm not right, you just like the commentary, you just want to be a part of the conversation, go ahead and like it, comment below, tell me what you think. You think I'm cool, you like my sweater, you like my beanie, you think I'm a dumbass, you think I'm an idiot, let me know in the comments below. I want to know everything. So my name's Angelo, this is The Art of Violence, until next time.